Going to failure is canceled. I've been training without going to failure for 8 or 9 years at this point. And the reason that my physique isn't mediocre anymore is because I don't go to failure. Technically, I've just redefined what failure is, but I think where a lot of guys go wrong, and I don't blame them because it's what everybody else is showing online when they're doing these like 100 rep sets, going way past failure, half rep and stuff and whatnot, is that they pretty much get to a point in the workout where they can't complete another rep without somebody helping them, or without swinging it up and recruiting all sorts of other muscle groups to make it happen, which is not really helping the muscle group that you're targeting anyway. I mean, there definitely is a time and a place for cheat reps and whatnot. Cheat reps definitely make gains. That's a side point that I'll get to in a little bit. But if you're trying to build a muscle, like, don't recruit other muscle groups. You don't want to train like a power lifter and just get crazy strong, and just build the connective tissue, the tendons, the in-between stuff that's going to make you really strong, like your cartilage, your ligaments and all that. You want to build the muscle tissue also. You don't want to, you don't want to only build the connective tissue. And so the way that you do that is by combining progressive overload with the mind-muscle connection. Now, as far as how to do that, a lot of people get it screwed up. Now, this part right here, we're talking about the progressive overload. So the progressive overload, nobody walks down the escalator. So every single week, you should come into the gym and you shouldn't be aiming to switch it up. A lot of people screw themselves over because they're trying to do a different workout every single time. And there's no way to confirm progressive overload like that. You're just going off of your intuition about how hard you actually pushed yourself, which a lot of people aren't pushing themselves as hard as they really think they are, but you would have to progressively push it past your limit every single week, consistently to the same degree, which is impossible. So the reason that you do the same workouts every single week is because you're just going to look at what you did last week and you're going to, look at that, you're going to literally just take a look and say, okay, I did 5 reps with 100 pounds last week. I'll try to get 6 this week. Or, I hit 100 pounds for 8 reps last week. I guess I'm going to bump it up to 105. Try to do, 105 pounds for 5 reps this week, or whatever it might have been. So every single week, you're just adding weight or adding a rep, depending on where you're at in the rep range. And then over time, your body has to adapt. It says, whoa, we've been getting slammed here. We should add some more muscle. And that is progressive overload in a nutshell. You don't really need to know all the science behind it and whatnot. If you guys want me to make a video about that, let me know. But I really don't think that it's necessary at all. The other thing that's going on here, though, is like, how do you consistently hit progressive overload every single week without, capping out, without plateauing constantly, or without feeling like you're running into a brick wall every single week over and over and over, which is what a lot of guys feel like. Every single week, the weights stay the same. This is where my philosophy will really help you out. Now, what I'm trying to do in my workouts is create positive feedback loops so that I'm consistent in the gym and getting addicted to the high of hitting personal records every single week. Now, how do you actually hit the personal record? What I do for myself is I'm not going balls to the wall, finishing the set with a bunch of half reps that really just don't mean anything. That's all just junk volume at the end of the day, and that junk volume is not going to get you anywhere. So what do you do instead? What you're going to do is you're going to go to the point until you literally can't do another rep. You are not confident in yourself that you can do another rep without some help, right? And especially like without bouncing it or using some super cheat form or whatnot, right? Like, again, cheat reps have their place. But with that said, your form should be as solid as possible so that you're still getting the mind-muscle connection as you are attempting progressive overload every single week. So the key here is I'm not going to go for any rep that I'm not 100% sure that I can get. Because a lot of the times If I don't think that I'm gonna get it, it's like a mindset thing. It's pretty insane how intertwined your mindset is into your strength capabilities. There's like an experiment these guys did where they put garbage bags over the weights for this dude on squat, and he did like a ridiculous PR over top of what he had ever done before. Like over 10 pounds, over 10, 20 pounds more than he ever even attempted before, and smashed it, no problem. And so what I'm talking about here is, if you don't think that you can hit the set and you're not gonna get 5 reps with 100 pounds or whatever it might be, like say that you're going for 225 for 5 on incline. Not saying that you have to shoot for that right now, but this is just for an example. If you have any shred of doubt that you're gonna get it, you're not gonna get it. You know, because of the RAS, you're gonna look for all the opportunities to miss out on the lift. And it's just going to tank your mindset, and honestly, just like nocebo effect, you're gonna stop trying halfway through the lift because you were already defeated before you even started. But let's say, devil's advocate, let's say that you actually get it. That's great, right? 225 for 5 on incline, that's a big lift. You're trying to hit PRs every single week. That's what we want. So what's the problem? Next week, you're gonna have to come into the gym and you're gonna have to beat that. You're gonna have to do 225 for 6. And what you're gonna do when you attempt 225 for 6 is you're gonna think back to last week, and you're gonna say to yourself, whoa, I almost didn't get it last time. Am I gonna get it this time? And it just sends you into a negative thought pattern. This is what I talk about with my coaching clients, because the workouts, the diet, all the metrics and whatnot, like the trend, the roadmap that you should follow, that's all good and dandy, but if you don't know how to actually execute it in these in-between moments, you're really not gonna be able to do much with the plan. This is something that I was going over with my client Austin when I was down in Tampa with him this past weekend. We got to meet up with him. He's in my inner circle. And we talked a lot about a bunch of other stuff regarding diet, but especially with the workouts, like where to have your mind when you're doing a specific exercise, right? Like how to either protract or retract your scapula on something like face pulls, right? Like how high to have your arms, like having a straight line between your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder joint, so that you are confirming that you're actually hitting your rear delts and not your mid and lower traps, or any other muscle group that might be adding itself in to overcompensate, to compensate for your weakness in your rear delts or whatever. But again, you really need to get this down so that you're actually able to anticipate yourself hitting strength gains every single week. And that's why if you're not going for any rep that you're not 100% sure that you can get, you're really just kind of telling yourself, oh, I didn't go for it. Maybe I could have got it, but definitely next week I'm going to get it. It's just like giving yourself a little bit of extra fuel. And if you know that you're going to grow back stronger than you were this week, like that's just going to make it really easy to continue stacking up the weight and the mechanical tension on your body over time and climbing that strength ladder. The other thing too is that, you know, when you're building strength, sorry, the video cut out. I'm going to need that terabyte soon. But all that you're doing when you're going to failure is teaching your body that you can't get it when you go for it. Like if you're going for to the point where you can't perform a rep, all your body remembers is, okay, I went for this and I didn't get it. I tried to execute a rep and it didn't happen. I am weak. I am not up to par. Versus if you do it this way, where you're not going for any rep that you're not 100% sure that you can get, it's kind of like not taking any shot that you don't know that you're gonna get, right? Like there's that quote where you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I'm preaching the opposite in this example. Like this is the one time where you really shouldn't go for it, because you're gonna be able to preserve the energy and honestly like the mindset too, that is just going to build upon itself over the next week. And then when you come back in the gym next week, right? Like say that you were unsure if you were gonna get 225 for 6 this week and you just rack it, right? You did 225 for 5. Call that a win in itself. You have like 2, maybe 1 or 2 other opportunities to hit PRs on that specific exercise. Let's call it incline bench right now. And if you crush yourself in that first set, you're gonna tank the rest of the workout too, because you're gonna go all out to get it. You probably won't get it. And when you don't get it, you're gonna feel like crap, which is gonna kill your morale. And then you're, again, gonna fall susceptible to just having a bad selective focus and a loser mindset and feeling like a loser and wanting to leave the gym, right? So if you ever feel like you can't get the rep, just rack it. Call it a win. If you match what you did last week and you make gains on the other sets, like that's great. As I've been getting more and more advanced and stronger and like bigger, I can't hit a PR on every single set. You get to the point where you're the strongest you've ever been on some of these exercises, and you just can't continue to increase the mechanical tension on your physique with such consistency as you once could. Damn, phone ran out of memory again. If you're gonna do this the right way, you just need to be setting yourself up for success. That's all this is about. It's just making sure that you preserve the winner's mindset. I would rather you not go for it if you're trying to, you don't wanna walk the tightrope. You want to walk up the stairs, or you want to walk across the solid ass bridge, or better yet, across the ground on the way over to the finish line. All right. So I hope that helps. I just wanted to share that with you. I talk about this with my coaching clients, and a bunch of other, little happen again that I think make a big difference. So if you're interested in getting more personalized help from me, or if you at least just want to talk and see if it would make sense to work together, there's a link in the description. Book a call with me. Otherwise, just subscribe, like the video, send this to a friend if you need, and comment down below if this made sense.